Why is our 269 October All Access special one of our best deals ever? Let us count the ways. 5 college football Saturdays, 5 NFL Sundays, full month of MLB playoffs, NHL starts October 12th, NBA season starts October 19th, plus any other sport your favorite handicap releases, all for under $9 a day. As an added bonus, sign up early and get the rest of September included for free.
Welcome into First Pitch for Wednesday, October 6th. I'm your host, Drew Martin, joined by Tony Finn and Matt Josephs of Sports Memo and WagerTalk.com. We're talking tonight's National League wild card play-in game, win or go home scenario in baseball. One of my favorite nights of the baseball season. Matt, welcome into the show. Happy Wednesday to you. Are you excited for tonight's matchup?
I'm still trying to figure out who baseball wants to win tonight. You've got America's baseball team, or at least self-appointed America's baseball team, St. Louis, against the Dodgers. And if the Dodgers lose, baseball's going to have to hear for months how this format's terrible because they won over 100 games and they shouldn't have had to be in this situation. So I don't know who baseball wants to win tonight.
That's true. I didn't think about that part of it. I mean, it would be kind of short end of the stick, if you know what I mean, for the Dodgers if it does go down that way. But hey, it is what it is. You got to try to win your division, right? That's why they're putting importance on the regular season. But we got Tony Finn as well, interested in his thoughts on that if he has any, and for his game analysis. But without further ado, Tony, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good to be here. That's going to be baseball's almost over, and it's always like a little bit of depressing. As much as I throw bitch pitches, around the end of the year, that baseball this time of year, you might have 2 games that are interesting and the others take 10 times as much work as they do during the regular season because of motivation, et cetera, et cetera. It is the World Series, so it means that we got all kinds of football and basketball on the horizon. So let's pick some winners.
Let's pick some winners. That's what it's all about. Guys, we got tonight's matchup here, NL wildcard play-in game, 8:10 Eastern, 5:10 Pacific, St. Louis Cardinals at the LA Dodgers. We're getting Adam Wainwright versus Max Scherzer, 2 righties going at it. We have seen some money, and on the Dodgers opened as huge favorites, about minus 215. They're as high as minus 230 now, 7.5 being the total. The Dodgers are playing at home. And Matt, like you talked about, over 100 wins having to play in the NL wildcard game. It is what it is. They've taken some money here. Interested on your thoughts if you think that that's the correct side, and overall your thoughts on tonight's matchup.
Well, I mean, obviously, look, you can't bet the Dodgers money line tonight. I mean, it's just, unless you're going to pair it off with something else that you like in the next couple of days, maybe a different team, and build together a money line parlay. I mean, I think the Dodgers are going to win tonight. I think if you could list me 10 pitchers that you'd want in this situation, number 1 would probably be Max Scherzer. I mean, he's a guy that relishes this situation, and he's pitched poorly his last 2 starts, which means you're going to get uber Max Scherzer effort tonight. And look, last night we saw Garrett Cole get yanked early because, Aaron Boone has a little bit more faith in the Yankees bullpen, especially if his pitcher's struggling. If Max Scherzer is struggling even the slightest, I mean, Scherzer's not going to let him take him out. So I think you're going to get max effort from Scherzer. And look, Adam Wainwright's a really good veteran pitcher. He's pitched in games like this before. He's been in this situation. He knows. And look, he pitched okay against the Dodgers last time out. A long time ago, it was earlier this month, he gave up 4 runs in, I think it was 8 1/3 innings, and he's a veteran pitcher who knows how to get guys out. Scherzer's a guy I mostly want to back in this situation, especially at home. It's going to be a nice juiced atmosphere. We saw how much the atmosphere made a difference for Boston. So to me, and this is where I like to come in with the props and the other things, when there's not value on the side or the total and you still want to bet the game, this is when you start to look for other things. The first 5 innings, do you want to say, if you think the Dodgers are going to get an early lead, getting the -0.5 in the first 5 innings, I don't think is a bad bet. It's like -140 in some places, which I don't love swallowing that much juice. But if you think they're going to get an early lead and you don't want to trust the Dodgers bullpen, That's why there's 5-inning wagers out there. So I feel like this is the type of game that we kind of have an idea who's going to win. So you're going to have to go to the exotic markets to try and find some value.
Okay, good stuff from Matt Josephs. Guys, check him out at sportsmemo.com. Tony, coming to you next, man. Your overall thoughts on tonight's matchup, Dodgers and Cardinals.
Listen, Mad Max has faced this St. Louis lineup in some combination twice this season. And in his career, 145 at-bats in his career, 145 official plate appearances, the opposition. And in those 145, he has surrendered 26 hits. 7 of those have been doubles with just one, count them, one home run, 8 RBIs. His K to BB ratio across those 145 bats, 56-4. And that is not, I didn't just misspeak, 56-4. And of the Cardinals that faced Scherzer 10 times or more in his career, Yadier Molina, a 1 for 17. Goldie, 5 for 31, striking out 16 times. 16 times. Smith's batting 156. The other Cardinal players, personnel with 10 or more at-bats, Arenado 2 of 10, Bader 2 of 10, Carpenter 7 of 27, with 1 walk and 9 strikeouts. He's the best at 250. He has the best numbers. And here's the deal. Listen to this flash line with Scherzer in his career against, regardless of what the opposition or whatever they decide they're going to put in to the lineup. It is the slash line. I wrote it down to 100. Here it is: 130, 145, 183 with an OPS of 327. Now, pundits and people who want to argue will say, "Well, that's Scherzer." Listen, what Scherzer's? It's right now. The Cy Young is between who? I get your opinion. Probably in the National League is going to be Scherzer and Ferris Bueller. Right? Am I right? I think so.
I think Corbin Burns is in the running. An outside shot at Adam Wainwright, right?
No.
Or no?
No. Urias maybe too. Those 3, but Burns maybe. No, I don't think so. I just don't think so. I mean, this is baseball, so it's big business, and you better be if you're pitching from Milwaukee or Kansas City or Pittsburgh, you better be hell on wheels and a magician to win the Cy Young. And I'm embellishing, of course, but in a nutshell, Max is and listen, Matt's correct. Scherzer didn't look very good in his last starts. In particular, his last start, 11 hits and 5.1, 6 runs, 5 earned. Although the 5 earned, listen, 3 it was horrible. There were some seeing singles in that, and not that he was good, but 3 errors behind him. The Dodgers committed 3 errors, and they were just momentum killers for Scherzer when he kind of turned things around. He's 8-2, but he was on an extra day's rest in that start, and he's not been good. He's not bad for Scherzer, but he's not been anything close to when he's on regular rest and on routine. 8-2 this season on 5 days, 1.69 ERA, 176 batting average against 0.836 WHIP. 1 complete game, 53 hits, 85 innings, guys. Those 85 innings have resulted in 111 strikeouts, 17 walks when on regular rest. Wainwright is 17-7 this season. When he's on extra rest, let's put it this way: of his 7 losses, 5 of them have come when Wainwright was on extra rest. Tonight, Scherzer's on schedule, Wainwright on extra rest. I like the Dodgers, and I agree with Matt. I really don't want to play minus 250 in a one-game take-all, win or be dead scenario. So, and I don't play run lines on home teams. However, what I do in this situation is I reduce my risk a little bit, and what I do is I play the Dodgers -1 and lay in about minus 160, 165. That's what I did. That's what I'm suggesting that my clients do, and that's what that's my talk, and we'll see if the Dodgers can walk my walk for me.
That's an experienced sports bettor right there, Tony Finn, talking about not laying the run line on the home team, guys. You also got to remember that if the Dodgers are up, they're not going to bat in the ninth inning. So it's nine at bats for the Cardinals to only 8 for the Dodgers. And laying that -1 line, you'll at least push instead of that 1.5 if they're only up 3-2, 4-3, whatever the case may be. Good stuff there from Tony Finn. We got a bunch of people in the chat box here, Tony, asking some questions. Jessica, welcome in. Abel as well. Stat Daddy. Johnny Outlaw in the house. Yeah, every game on the board's going on today, Johnny. So stay tuned for that on Twitter. We got a lot of people in here, Tony, but you're bringing up a lot of stats towards the Dodgers. I get it, man. It's there is a lot to like. I mean, they were the second best record in baseball, but they do find themselves in a one-game win or go home scenario against arguably the hottest team in baseball right now with a really good pitcher, all hands on deck situation. I mean, you want to bring up some trends towards the Cardinals. There's some out there as well, Tony. You know what? Wainwright is 3-0 in playoff elimination games. He's pitched very, very well himself. Yeah. So, betting this game, if it's sidewise, you would still tell people to go towards the Dodgers?
Yeah. This is what I would say about trends, and I'm not a big trend player. I'm not. I don't follow them. The trends I do follow and pay attention to, if someone brings them throws them in front of my face, are typically their sportsbook related trends, their line trends, their perception trends, should I say? And that is, the books are the books, and if they've been under the same management for a long time, even new management that was tutored or was mentored under that management that was there for a long time, is that in point spread situations, those kind of trends, they have relevance to me because they don't just represent the players that are on the team, they represent the combination of the players, but more so the team and how the public perceives that team. So, and I could get into that and go on, but in the situation with Wainwright and his postseason experience, those kind of trends are, listen, I got a drive-by a couple of years ago when Atlanta made the World Series. They made the playoffs, and there's game one, and I liked them in game one. I really liked them in game one. And I got a tweet from a guy, or the game lost, okay? And I played a big play on it. And the game lost, and the tweet was, Finn, you're the worst handicapper to walk the face of the earth. You don't know what you're doing, et cetera, et cetera. And he said, look at this. Atlanta is 0-15 in their last 16 game ones in postseason play. Well, this was in 2019, I think. And so I thought, I'm not going to argue with them or anything, but so I went back and looked to see how many of the current players on that Atlanta team were on the postseason roster, the last one they had. And that was, I think in 2012, it had been 6 or 7 years, right? Not one player. So I said, well, the trend just doesn't apply. And it doesn't apply. Why? Because these are different players. These are different players. And, if they were 0-16, the same group of players, then I bite. I'll bite on that apple, be it poison or not. But in this situation, though, I told him that. He said, well, trends are trends. It doesn't matter who's playing. A trend is a trend. You have to obey them. And that's when I didn't say anything else, because he's an idiot. Because players still play the game, and that would be my answer to that. You know what I mean? Scherzer's numbers, I don't think that what he's done against the St. Louis lineup or the players that could be in the lineup tonight is crazy good, guys. Am I wrong? Those numbers I read off are stupid good. Now, some of that was 5-7 years ago, whatever it might be. But what Scherzer's done this year and his metrics this season compared to 5 or 7 his last Cy Young are very similar. He's not much of a different pitcher. In fact, he's maybe smarter. He might not have the stamina. He can't go out there and bulldog for 9 innings like he used to. But those are the things I pay attention to more than anything. And St. Louis has they have a winning record against the Dodgers in postseason play historically. I think they're 1-5. The Dodgers are 1-5 against St. Louis. It doesn't play. It doesn't play with me. And Scherzer's had 2 starts against this team. Has been really good. And if you look at Wainwright, his ERA against this Dodgers lineup this year was a little over 4. I think it was 1 game. But again, that said, every metric, guys, every single metric save one, and that would be, or variable would be bullpen probably, says the Dodgers are the best team in baseball. They have the most wins above average, or at least projected. San Francisco's played far and above their pay grade, and they've done that in several ways. But more than anything else, once the Dodgers win tonight, guys, the World Series starts. It starts on Thursday when we see the Giants and the Dodgers. And unfortunately, only 5 games will decide that series.
We'll see what happens. MLB playoffs going to be fun. Matt, getting you in here, man. This push towards the Dodgers from what, minus 210-ish to minus 135-ish. Do you think this is, smart money coming in thinking there's value? Or do you think this is a situation like last night where, hey, it was the Yankees near a pick'em price, and at least in my opinion, there's just a lot of Yankees fans out there wanting to bet the Yankees. Do you think that situation is happening with the Dodgers tonight?
I mean, I can't imagine the Dodgers are not a public team. I mean, and I think for the people who haven't been keeping up with the Major League Baseball season, Drew, they sit there and they say, "Oh, the Dodgers have over 100 wins. Of course, I'm going to bet the Dodgers." Or the people who are they're familiar with baseball, but they're not, and they hear Max Scherzer and they're like, "Oh, that's the guy who was the ace for the Nationals when they won the World Series. Oh, I've got to bet on Max Scherzer." So I feel like sometimes we're getting the people that we lost once football season got underway, and they kind of put baseball on the back burner, and they're like, "Oh, okay, baseball tonight. Dodgers are playing. They're home. 100 wins. Boom, got to bet them. Oh, Max Scherzer, even better." So I think you're getting the people who have been baseball fans until football started, and now they're getting back in it because it's the playoffs, and they're like, "Oh, well, of course I got to take the home team tonight."
Oh, yeah, there's absolutely some of that going on in terms of people that just started betting college football in the NFL, and then Tony, they're like, "Oh, MLB playoffs, here we go, one and done. I'm coming back now. Hey, the Yankees near pick'em up. Dodgers playing old reliables. Dodgers in minus the run line. You know that for the public bettors out there. So we'll see if that happens, even though they're at home. Tony, your thoughts real quick before we get the best bets on if this is smart money pushing the Dodgers up, or in your opinion, if this is kind of public money coming in and pushing the Dodgers up.
Well, no, I think it's a combination. I think it's a combination of both. And I haven't made a call, but in this situation, part of this is public. As my friend Matt said, the Dodgers are St. Louis might proclaim to be America's team, like the Braves did for 100 years back in the Turner days, when that was a game you could always get on TV when you didn't have what you have today as far as options to watch baseball. But definitely a combination of both. I believe that wholeheartedly. And Matt's right. Listen, first off, you're not getting a bunch of value on the Dodgers at minus 240. You're not. I mean, this is Wainwright. This is one game of baseball, and anything can happen. Anything can happen. Scherzer could go out and have pitch one pitch, and all of a sudden, God forbid, and I don't want to jinx anything, but it come up lame for some reason, right? And then they don't have Scherzer, but you're still paying, $1.30 or $2.30 to win your buck. So anything can happen in one game. If this was a 7-game series, I'd probably step out, have a couple tequilas, and say, "Listen, let's go. Let's go hit the savings account and risk something. Really risk something." This would be one of those series that I'd be all in on. I don't do those kind of things. Not anymore, but I have before in my career, and I don't do them, but I would in this. And here, this is Joe West's last rodeo, guys. Understand? I don't know whether he's forced to retire, but we need to raise our hand and say hallelujah. We don't have to country Joe West and his antics during a game. So there's a factor in this game. Joe West is a wild card, no pun intended. He's a wild card in this because this is his last rodeo, and I assure you, something's going to happen. As sure as the sun is going to come up in the east, Joe West is going to get his face in front of a camera, and some drama is going to appear. Maybe not necessarily in this game tonight, but sometime down the line in this postseason. This is the end for Joe West and Major League Baseball, and me being able to complain about Joe West.
Good old Joe West, Tony Finn there.
Yeah.
Talking about tequilas after the game. Paco Healy saying Tijuana Tony. He's got a couple different names going with the first pitch faithful here in the chat box. Guys, we're up against it time-wise, so got to throw it around for best bets. Matt Josephs at sportsmemo.com. Follow him on Twitter at MidMajorMatt. His K-props, guys, he's absolutely killing it on huge runs there, so check him out. Matt, where are you going for best bets, and any final thoughts for the show?
So I'm going to take advantage of it. FanDuel, we always talk about it. They raised the price on the K-props, and they changed the juice on it, and I'm going to take advantage of it today. BetMGM also has it. I'm taking under 4.5 strikeouts for Adam Wainwright tonight. The juice is a little pricey, so if you don't want to, don't completely understand. I completely understand. In 13 starts, in 78 innings, he has 66 road strikeouts this year. You've got a Dodgers team that is in the bottom 5 the last 2 weeks in strikeout rate. Their K rate's like 18.6 the last 2 weeks. Look, there's a chance if Max Scherzer's not pitching well, he won't last 2 or 3 at-bats, so you won't get those automatic strikeouts. Plus, he's not a terrible hitter. He's not a great hitter, but, he's not an instant strikeout like some other guys. So I'm going to take under 4.5 strikeouts. I'm going to use FanDuel and BetMGM against them and take the under at 4.5. I know DraftKings has 3.5, so wait and see if they flip it to 4.5. Take the under there, and you'll find some value on under 4.5 strikeouts for Adam Wainwright.
Matt and I are lining up. I'm on under 4.5 strikeouts for Wainwright as well. In the offshore market, it's minus 133 right now, guys. So go check that out. And I agree with everything Matt just said. Plus, I'll add on the fact, this is a one and done scenario. We saw it last night with Garrett Cole. As the first sign of trouble, he's likely going to be out of the game. So kind of a quick hook on him, because it's all hands on deck. You can bring in your second best pitcher, followed by your third best pitcher, whatever the case may be for the Cardinals. And I think that's all kind of adding up here towards not a lot of strikeouts for Adam Wainwright against this Dodgers lineup. I actually would lean towards Scherzer's under for strikeouts as well. I didn't bet that one, but just kind of the same scenario there with the starting pitchers possibly not lasting as long tonight. But for record-keeping purposes, guys, best bet for the show, Adam Wainwright under 4.5 for me as well. Tony Finn, Tony just win, baby Finn, Tijuana Tony, whatever you're wanting to be called, Tony. Best bets and final thoughts for the show.
Call me for dinner. That's what you call me. I almost played Scherzer. I would have, if we'd had a different umpire in this game, I would have considered playing Scherzer over 7.5 because of his numbers against the Cardinals. And the fact that I'm quite certain that if I'm certain, as again, let me repeat this horrible, as the sun's going to come up in the east, that if Dave Roberts starts walking to the mound to take Matt Scherzer out, it better be late in the game, or Matt Scherzer and Dave Roberts, it's on. Dave Roberts isn't the most aggressive manager, he's a player's guy, and I think he plays favorites a lot of times with guys like, I don't know if he's in bed, who he's in bed with, maybe Bellinger, still in the lineup hitting 150 on the season, but I digress. And I played Max Scherzer over half total base, which means get on base. That's your base, Max, at plus 335. With Joe West behind the plate, unpredictable and much more of a lean towards hitters than pitchers. Matt's under 4.5 and Wainwright, good play. It's a very good play, especially with the umpire. But it won't surprise me if Scherzer, where Wainwright would like to get some called third strikes because he's of his command and the way he pitches and the way he attacks hitters. Swings and misses can happen. The Dodgers aren't the most disciplined team, although that would be my hope. And I'm certain Matt's too, that they will be a little more patient at the plate tonight with Wainwright and Joe West behind the plate, so I could get my win on my -1 gameplay. But take a chance with Max Scherzer over. Listen, a walk. You win this bet, Max Scherzer over a half total base plus 335.
He's Tony Finn. Guys, in recap for best bets, we got Tony's there, Max Scherzer over half a total base plus 335 with that walk, maybe a hit. Oh, we'll see what happens.
Well, hey,
I like it.
Scherzer is 1 for 3 lifetime against Wainwright. There you go.
Hey, well, that counts. All right. 1 for 3, 333 batting average. It's not bad for an NL pitcher. And then, guys, Wainwright under 4.5 Ks for myself and Matt. Thanks for tuning in, guys. One and done NL wildcard play-in game. For Matt Josephs, Tony Finn, I am Drew Martin. Guys, enjoy it tonight, nationally televised, and best of luck with your bets if you're tailing out there. So thanks for tuning in. Please smash that like button, and we'll talk tomorrow. Same time, same place.
Why is our 269 October All Access special one of our best deals ever? Let us count the ways. 5 college football Saturdays, 5 NFL Sundays, full month of MLB playoffs. NHL starts October 12th. NBA season starts October 19th, plus any other sport your favorite handicap releases, all for under $9 a day. As an added bonus, sign up early and get the rest of September included for free.